oh. It's a tunnel. It's a tunnel. Woo! What's up, guys? I'm Austin. Welcome back to the channel. Again, I am running a channel called Budget Bill Daily. Don't know why I'm telling you that, because you can see the name of the channel. But if you just saw the video and didn't look at the name, I guess now you know. Anyway, as you can tell, I'm wearing the same clothes as my first video, and that is because I literally stopped the first video and started this one up, but I ain't uploading them the same day. Alright, so in this video, we're going to go over the cars I've had and how I got this one, which is a 1994 Acura Integra LS. And let's get into it. Alright, so I have had 11 cars, this car being my 11th. Also, being my first 5-speed car, or manual at all if you want to say that. I've always wanted a manual car, but it took me forever to finally get one. Well, finally got one. This baby, and I love it. I couldn't ask for a better starter car. It's so forgiving on the clutch. I mean, I stalled a couple times, that's just because I was still trying to figure out how to drive it. But you can let go of the clutch for a little while, and it'll roll you on its own. So, it's a good starter car in my opinion. Now, like I said, I've had 11 cars. This car being my number 11. I already said that. I'm going to try to, and the best I can, go over the order and try to explain what happened to him, if I remember what happened to him. I may be out of order a little bit. I can't remember exact order, but we'll see what happens. Starting off with the first one, my first ever car. If we want to talk about first car I drove, it was, and this car, if we don't count it, then I've only had 10 cars. But I drove it enough times where I pretty much called it mine. The first car I drove, like it was mine for a while, was a, I can't remember the year, but it was an old-ass Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. And that thing was a piece of junk, man. Kind of like the sound of my exhaust rattling. I need to fix that. That might be another video I'll be doing soon, for me fixing my exhaust. We'll see what happens. Maybe not though, too, because I don't know how to get a camera under there very easily, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, so I drove that Oldsmobile for a long time. Finally, a friend of mine, who's no longer my friend, I won't get into that, he's like, hey, my brother, who I'm still in contact with, I still really enjoy his brother. His brother's awesome. But, I really gotta do a counter at the corner, how many times I say sometime. To get better at editing, I might do that. He messaged me, he's like, hey, my brother is selling one of the cars he got. He doesn't want it. He knows you're looking for a car. If you want to buy it, he'll sell it to you for, I think it was like $500. It was I think a 1997 Ford Taurus. You know, those really typical Ford Tauruses you see everywhere, the crappy ones that apparently I looked up when I had a problem with it and found out that they are very common for doing this. Ooh, that was bumpy. I don't like that. Anyway, I'm like, hey, yeah, let's go look at it. We go out and look at it. He does a deal with me. He knows I'm working at McDonald's. I'm not making crap for money at the time. I don't work at McDonald's anymore. I work at a different place. I won't name the name of the building. But I told him, I don't have 500 on top. He's like, yeah, that's fine. He's like, listen, the way I want this to work is I only have a car. I only have your own car, so you don't have to borrow someone's car. Because at that time, like I said, I was driving my uncle's Oldsmobile, and he was living all the way in Australia. Things happen. He's back now. That's none of my business to talk about, so I won't. But he goes, listen, I know you don't have much money. Just pay me little chunk sums when you can. When you get money, just pay me some of it. I'm like, okay, I can do that. So I go to look at it, make sure I want it. He tells me that, at the time, it was pretty decent. It wasn't terrible. It was really crappy green. But I got past that. I drove it, I looked at it, I'm like, yeah, I like it, I'll buy it, let's do it. Drove it home, and got home with it, pretty good and stuff, showed my parents, like, not bad, not terrible, it really wasn't bad, there wasn't really much rust on it, and it looked like a good car to have. God, I so apologize for that. I had bolts on my pipe to the header piece, but I guess they must be coming loose because they're just Walmart bolts, the 98-cent 2-pack special, and I didn't put any tightening stuff on it, so they're starting to rattle loose. I'm gonna probably buy some more today because I'm sure I lost one already, but if I didn't, then I guess I'll have extra bolts, but I'm gonna try to fix those sometime soon. But anyway, just ignore the rattle. That's what that noise is my exhaust occasionally rattling. But anyway, I drove the Torch around for a while. This is probably be the only one too. I'm gonna make this long a description because it's my first car. After that, I'm gonna go back short. Sorry. I end up driving around for a while. I go to Ames after having it for a couple days, and on my way back, I just see smoking. Like there's smoke that it looked like it was coming through my engine. I'm like, oh shoot! So I pull over to the side and I look. I'm like, oh, my wheel, my caliper, or not caliper, my rotor. My rotor was glowing bright red, like as if I was a race car and I was stopping. But I looked at it, oh my god, this thing's glowing bright red. I guess the way it was working is, and I looked this up, these cars apparently have this problem all the time, where they have sticky brakes, where the brake calipers just don't release enough, and it grinds down the brakes, it winds on the rotor, and it just looks nasty. It's a nasty situation. Driving around for a while, did some dumb stuff in it because it's my first car, you know how that goes. And after a while, I only had maybe $100 left to pay on it. I know, $500, and I was doing payments, it was taking me forever. Cut me slack, my paychecks were like $300 from McDonald's. I wasn't making crap at the time. It sucked. While still going to school, making sure I have gas, making sure I have insurance, making sure my car's registered, It's not easy living on that. So eventually it did better. I started making $400. That was still crap. But now I'm making a little better. Not enough to go around and play with, but enough to survive. But anyway, one day I'm going to town over. Pretty sure I already said town by accident, but that's alright. And I'm with a different buddy I still talk to. He's my best friend. You'll probably see him at some point on this channel. But we're driving back, or we went to the town over. We went to the mall. We come back out. We start leaving, and I put my car in reverse. And this car has a really crappy thing where it didn't want to stay on. Like, you turn it over and you try to put it in gear, it might die. It acted like I was trying to start a manual and let go of the clutch. Whatever. But we were leaving the mall. We just went there to walk around. We had no money. There was no reason to. We just were bored. So we were getting ready to head back home when I put my car in reverse. I got it cool, successfully started up, stayed on, love it. Put it in reverse, put my foot on the brake, and when you do that, your car should stay still. Well, my car started rolling backwards on its own, and that was the first sign of, oh, so I pulled my foot off the brake, and what the heck? So I went to go push my foot on the brake again, still rolling. Had to use my e-brake, and it was one of those ones that you stomp down and have to unlock with a little mechanism under it. That was not fun, because I had to drive about 25 minutes home on the highway, use my e-brake to slow down, or just merge over if a car was slowing down and I didn't have enough time to use my e-brake. So, gave it back to my old friend's brother. He ended up taking it back, he scrapped it, we went on from there. That's my first car. Second car, if we want to count it, was technically the Oldsmobile, because I started driving the Oldsmobile around everywhere. I started driving it like it was my car. I wanted to do upgrades on it, but there's nothing to do to it. This car is crap. I was just going to slap a spoiler on it and go ricey with it. Kind of like this car has, which I'll be replacing soon. I have a Type R spoiler coming in soon. I'm so excited for that. But drove that around for a while. Finally got the money to buy another vehicle. That was a 2002 Chevy Malibu. I loved that thing. That thing was fun for some reason. I don't know why. It wasn't a fast car, but I made it look nice, you know. For a while, I rattle canned it black. Then I rattle canned it Paul Walker. I spray painted it like the skyline for Fast and Furious. I know, very stupid. I'm embarrassed to say I did it, but I did it. I had the spoiler on it. I had an aftermarket steering wheel that kind of resembled close to the Fast and Furious one, but not very much. It was a O'Reilly special 5-bolt steering wheel. It was whatever. It worked. It drove around. Then I finally sold it after the car didn't want to run for very long without basically running completely out of oil or dying on me. It just wasn't worth keeping it, so I sold it for $400. Moving on to my next car. During the time I was driving it, just before I got rid of it, I was driving around a Toyota Camry. I think it was a 98 Toyota Camry. I can't remember the year. Had the sunroof and everything. It was a luxury style looking car, like on the interior and stuff. So it was the limited edition version, whatever, you know, with the gold writing on it and everything. But drove that around for a while. Bought it from a car dealership that I won't name the names of because they are the worst car dealership ever, in my opinion. They don't even they don't even send in anything about you to a credit bureau. So you can't even build credit, at least financing cars from them. Which is why it was easy to do what it did. We ended up getting a minivan for my girlfriend's parents. They just basically gave it to us, told us we had to go register it. That's it. It's fine. It worked just fine for me. I was okay with it. I ended up getting rid of the Camry so I could have more money to save up for getting an apartment and stuff. At the time, we started living in my parents' basement, which was a crappy basement. Not their fault. It wasn't a finished basement. It was just a regular one you should just only use for taking a washer and dryer down there, do your laundry, come back up. Go down when there's a tornado. Well, I ended up taking the Camry back to the car dealership. Told them I can't do payments on this anymore. And because I knew they wouldn't do anything about it, they took it back. They're a crappy dealership. I don't feel bad for doing it. But, I drove around the minivan for a while. It also started having problems with dying. So, it's whatever. But let's go and go to the order real quick. So, Taurus, Malibu, Oldsmobile, Camry, minivan. That's already 5. So then after minivan, we're driving around for a while, and I need another vehicle. I need a vehicle for me. I don't like driving minivans. I need a car. I like cars. I don't like big vehicles. I don't like SUVs very much. I don't mind SUVs. There's some cool ones out there. But I like cars. So finally went around and bought a 1997 Subaru Legacy all-wheel drive. Loved it. That was one of my best cars I got in a while. Really awesome during the winter. Loved it. Again, turn. There we go. Till one point, I lost a fight with the curb during the winter, and I hit the curb, busted my wrecking pin or whatever, the part that makes it where your wheels face straight when you hold the steering wheel. Otherwise, instead of driving like this to go straight, I was driving like this to go straight. So that was lovely. Ended up selling it to a buddy of mine for about what I paid for it. Turned around and bought so that's 6. The number 7 was I bought I think it was a 2000 Dodge Neon. Keep in mind, all of these cars were automatic. Let's just go right. Drove it around. I paid $400 for this thing. $30 to replace a door on it that was all destroyed. And I loved it. I did. It was fun. It was, for the most part, cheap. Pretty good on gas. Not as good as my Subaru was. But after a while, my transmission went out on an automatic. So I wasn't going to deal with that. And it was a $400 car. So I scrapped it for $250. Took it to a junkyard, scrapped it. Next car I ended up getting was what did I get? My Lancer, actually, yeah. So before I got that, I went and bought a Grand Am. Bought a Grand Am for $200. Yep. And I know you're thinking, there's no way that was a good car. It wasn't. If we want to count it, brings me out to 11. If we don't count it, or the Oldsmobile, brings me down to 10 or 9. But if we count it, I had that car for about an hour. Drove it from town over. Every fluid possible that was in it. Where are we at for time anyway? We're at, I can't tell. Every fluid possible that could leak or just disappear, found a way to disappear. Don't know how, but it did. Surprisingly enough, this person must have thought that was going to happen once I drove it home. So, in the trunk was every fluid ever I needed. Topped off everything. About 10 minutes later into driving, all the fluid was gone again. Like, nope, this already just became harder than I want it to be. So I junked it. Got $50 extra. So, that was pretty nice, Drove a really crappy car for about an hour. Got $50 for it, technically. It all works out. Then we move on to my Lancer. A 2002 Mitsubishi Lancer. That puts me at, let's see here, Taurus, Malibu, Oldsmobile, Camry, minivan, Subaru, Neon, Grand Am, Lancer. Moved on to my Mitsubishi Lancer. I still have it. I got it for $800, and now it's starting to act up. I'm probably going to try and sell for $1,000 because I did work on it a little bit. If I include all the parts I have on it, which is a aftermarket steering wheel, spoiler, and $150 stereo system. I'm not going to include that if I'm not getting the money for it. But still have that. Still occasionally drive. Right now it's just in my garage because the registration is really close to expiring, and I took it off my insurance so I could drive this. While driving the Lancer, I came across a really, really clean, and this is getting a story of how I got this car. This is merging in that story, because this is the last car I got besides this. I saw a guy posting on the town over I go to a lot again, a 1997 Honda Civic EX, the two-door version with the sunroof. I was happy. They only wanted $2,000 for it, which, from all the ones I've seen for sale, not a bad price. Especially since it was automatic, unfortunately, but it was super clean. Maybe one little tear in the corner of the seat on the driver's side. Other than that, this car was clean. No rust, no damage. At least I didn't spot this part of rust because it was tucked up till later. I bought it for $2,000. The guy wanted $2,500, talking up to $2,000. Went and got it, drove back. I was loving this thing. I was having such a good time with it. I was enjoying it. Eventually, it started getting louder. VTEC was opening up. Then one day, as me and my friend were going to get food, I just hear, it goes from to really loud noise. Sorry for that noise. Sorry, headphone users. That was really dumb for me to do that. I don't know why I did it. But it just got loud, deep, and rattling. And our feet were just getting tickled by the floor vibrating bad. Like, oh my god, what was that? Pull over, side of the road. Well, I pull off into this little parking lot. It's all gravel, and I just hear, gravel scraping on a ton of metal. I'm like, uh-oh. So I looked under, and the one spot that was rusty on the car was all around the Cadillac converter. It had rusted off, fell off, and hung there. So, eventually I got home, cut off the Cadillac converter, and threw it in my garage. Stopped driving the Civic for a while because it was too loud, too annoying. Somewhat temporarily fixed it by just straight piping the Cadillac converter. This car, it wasn't the only problem I had. I had a problem where it died one day. your fuel pump, chances are, under your dash, right side, there is a fuse or switch. It's called the main fuel pump relay. Switch that. It's like a $50 part if you get brand new, which you might as well. $50 part, and it will run again. It drove just fine for me. The only big problem was it would rest at about 200 to 500 RPMs on idle, but it stayed running, it stayed working, and guess what? I kept it quiet when it was running idle, so that was good. Catalytic converter was missing, it was crappy on that part. Finally, I saw this car for sale on Facebook. This guy was selling two Integras he has. He has an Integra GSR, and then he had the LS. Now, I wouldn't have minded the GSR, but it was a little more out of my price budget in some sense. So, I messaged the guy. I'm like, hey, what are the odds? You are looking to trade for a automatic Honda Civic with a missing catalytic converter. He's like, pics? So I sent pictures. It was clean. It was still clean. Aftermarket steering wheel, which is what's on this car now, because he ended up not wanting it. He actually brought it back to my house and dropped it off. But I showed him, he's like, it looks pretty clean. He's like, automatic manual. I'm like, automatic, unfortunately. I understand if you don't want to trade it. I just figured I'd throw it out there. He's like, oh, that one mind looking at it. Let's look at it. I'm like, alright, cool. If you want to bring the same car, that way I can look at it too. That'd be great. He's like, alright, sure. So, this was the time my job had put me on layoff for like a month straight. It was annoying, but a month and a half actually, because they called me again and extended it, but whatever. Who needs money to pay for bills and stuff, right? Just moving to a house, but who needs bills? Who needs to pay bills? Those are so overrated. Anyway, the guy ends up bringing over the car, but it was the GSR version. And I noticed something was different, because I noticed that one was green, but the one I was looking at was black, so I was cut off a little bit. Anyway, he brings it over, he looks at the car, I pulled it out of the garage, left it out in my driveway. He looks at it, he's like, honestly don't mind it, I like it. He took on a test drive, he's like, I do like it. It's like, it's loud, it's definitely loud, you warned me about that. I let him look at the car, I'm like, listen, tell me if there's something wrong, you don't want to trade, let me know. I don't want you feeling like you got screwed over. And so, after a while he checks it, he's like, you know what, I kind of like it. He's like, but I need a little more money on top for my car. I said, I totally understand. How much more do you want? He's like, well, I had a ton of messages messaging me for my car. So I'm not sure which one you actually want. Were you wanting the GSR or were you wanting the LS? And I said, whichever the black one was on your Facebook, it's like, that would be my LS version. It's like, for the car I just brought over, which is a GSR, he's like, I'd want an extra $1,000 on top. I'm like, ooh, that's definitely past my ease to get it. Like, how much on top for the LS? He's like, well, the LS I will do for an extra $500 on top. I'm like, sir, you got yourself a deal if I can look at it and make sure I like it. He's like, yeah, for sure. So I follow him to his place stuff. This is like midnight. I look at the car, checking it over. We're chatting for a long time. In the end, I end up loving it. I fell in love with it. I'm like, it looks good. I had that really stock crappy spoiler, the really low one. Of course, I took that off. I threw on a $20 like right swing on it that I don't mind on it, but I will be changing once my other spoiler gets in the mail. But the story behind it is I somehow managed to find someone with a 5-speed Acura Integra who was willing to trade me for my basically POS Honda Civic automatic with more promise than this car had. I don't know how I got it to work. $500 extra. Basically, I paid $2,500 for this. I care less if someone tries to tell me that I got screwed over. It's an Acura Integra. Every time I look for these online, good running cars like the condition mine's in doesn't go for anything under $2,000. And that's if there's not much done to it too. / needs paint. So, I love this one. I'll do walk around on this at some point because I'm sure this video is getting pretty long. little story. Anyway, that'll do it for this one. I'm Austin. Thanks for watching. See you guys